Hey everybody, this is Sean Sundal, and in today's video, we're going to be discussing the latest COVID-19 mandates by President Joe Biden through executive order. As you guys are well aware, I'm not an attorney. The information I'm presenting to you is not legal advice, it's not professional advice. What I want you to do is get the information that I have today and present it to a licensed attorney and see if the facts that relate to you or that relate to your company are relevant to the situation that may or may not affect your workplace. So far, what we have is this: if you are a healthcare worker, so those of you who work private security at healthcare institutions that accept Medicare and Medicaid, you will be required to have a vaccine. This reflects mostly almost all, not every single facility, but almost all of them in the United States. I mean, you're talking about this affects millions of healthcare workers, you guys, because a lot of these facilities, most of the facilities, accept Medicare and Medicaid. The other push is going to be if you are going to do contract work with the federal government, all of your employees need to be vaccinated. I actually have a handful of you guys that watch these videos who have government contracts. There's more than you might think. You're going to have all your employees vaccinated. Third, employers who have more than 100 employees are going to have to mandate that their employees be vaccinated as well. You guys, I don't want to get far into politics. As you are well aware, I did not vote for this current administration, this current president. I do believe that vaccine do work, but that's just my personal opinion. As an employer, if you guys are employers or supervisor managers, if you're going to implement this policy, you have to see what is fair to your employees, and you have to try to get them to get voluntary vaccinations. If you start demanding people to do things, what you're going to get is you're going to get false vaccination records. People are going to sell these underground. Actually, they're selling them underground as we speak. Okay, you're going to get fraud in the workplace a lot. Okay, number two, you're going to get contempt towards the employer if you start mandating these things. Now, you do have a choice to comply with the law or don't comply with the law. That's a business decision that you're going to have to make. I'm not encouraging you to not abide by the law. I'm just saying that if you don't, there's repercussions, and if you do, there could be morale repercussions as well. I'm trying my best not to get on one side of the political spectrum. Okay, so that's one of the ways. You also have to see what motivates your employees. So it might be money. Guys, the college where I'm employed at, they're offering their employees $2,000 stipend payments if you get the second round of vaccines. Now, for me, it's not a whole lot of money. If I'm going to get the vaccine, it's because I believe that it works, and I don't want to end up in the hospital. But it's a personal choice, and I think we also need to respect our employees' boundaries and our employees' choices as well. Some of you might be thinking, who are employers, well, they don't want to work with me. That's fine. They could find work elsewhere. Keep in mind that you might get a mass exodus of employees leaving. Okay, if you're a 100+ employer, you might have your employees leaving to employers who have less than 100 employees because it's not going to be mandatory. Now, you also have to think future litigation. If you comply with the law and you require your employees to be vaccinated because maybe you have over 100, maybe you're in the healthcare arena, if you require them, and if they don't, if you implement discipline, okay, there could be repercussions for that. Later on down the road, you guys, I am confident that the current U.S. Supreme Court justices will deem the executive orders from the president unconstitutional. they're going to probably state that that it's up to the legislator to require something like this. You can't just do something by executive order. Now, that's a legal argument. Remember, Supreme Court cases, you guys are usually heard 5 years, 7 years, 9 years down the road, sometimes 10 years down the road, but it's a long way out. If you're an employee, you decide not to get vaccinated, remember, you can be disciplined once these rules are in effect, and you may have very little recourse during during the 7 years, 6 years, however long it takes, and maybe it's sooner than that, to get to the U.S. Supreme Court. You're going to be out of work. I encourage you to make the best decisions based on your morality, based on your specific needs, and based on your honor system. But remember, there are repercussions for not following the law. Okay. Now it's totally up to you guys. So I'm gonna do a summary here. Number one, employers who have more than 100 employees will need to be they will need to have their workforce vaccinated. I don't know how they are going to enforce that. It's probably through an informant in your own organization. Sometimes our own employees are our worst enemies. So it could be through that. Somebody goes out and tells the Department of Labor. The second one is healthcare workers. If you're a healthcare worker and your facility accepts Medicare or Medicaid, then you're going to be subject to the mandatory vaccine. Third, if you are doing any contract work with the U.S. government, you're going to need to have a vaccine. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are. I just want to be extra clear. I'm not pushing a vaccine on you. My belief that the vaccine works and that is effective, that's a personal belief. That's a personal choice. I don't think that any government should have to require you to get a vaccine. I don't think that. But I also want you to understand that there are some legal repercussions if you don't abide by these rules. And especially on this channel, the largest repercussion that we can get against us is discipline up to termination. Okay. Many of us, we need to stay where we're at our employers. We don't have that financial freedom yet, so we're not able to make some of these decisions. So we can't just leave. So others have more of a freedom. Maybe they don't have a family. Maybe they do have a family, but they have a high value system. They hold their values up to here, and that's great. One last thing, employers, make sure that if you discipline an employee because this employee does not want to get the vaccine, you need to contact counsel, legal counsel. You need to get a legal representative, because it's very possible, and I believe that this is going to happen, that 7 to 10 years, 9 years, maybe less than that, when a decision or a case reaches the U.S. Supreme Court, the termination or discipline can be overturned, and will start trickling down to the district courts, and then it could reach back at you, where you might have to be responsible for paying the other side, your ex-employees, attorney fees, and any penalties that would be attached to terminating an employee because they don't want to get the vaccine. If there is an executive order, I don't know what the legalities are on that. I have no idea. If there's a law that requires you to do something, if you follow that, if you're off the hook, I don't know. And that's why I feel it's highly important for you to contact a legal representative and ask. Let me know what your thoughts are on the subject. I will leave a link in the description box, and that link will direct you to the White House proposals. Remember that the president has the ability to persuade the Department of Labor directors, or whoever's in charge of the Department of Labor, to take a certain course of action. If not, he can just replace them. A lot of these people who run these regulatory agencies, a lot of them are appointed by the executive branch. In California, it's the governor. Whatever state you're in, it's usually the governor. The federal government, many times the president gets to appoint these directors.